All right, you guys, podcast time. We got the equipment and the perfect business plan. Give our show away for free and tell no one how to find it. Ready?
Welcome to another episode of the Brand X Podcast, 2-minute checklist my ass. I still forgot to push the record button.
You should put that in red.
I don't know. I don't know what I got to do.
Need a boxing glove on the spring like a Bugs Bunny.
I should have it swinging from my head until we push the button and then I can put it down or something. Or hold it in my hand.
Need a big red cop light. Just
right. You went big red. I was a little nervous when you went big red, and I got a little nervous what was coming out of that.
Oh.
So... welcome, everybody. My name is John. With me, my co-host, Deuce.
Come stop, bitches.
And his brother, Joe.
Tally-ho. And
it's been a kind of a busy week. I got blocked by another Twitter person, which is, I love that, to be quite honest with you. And it was basically because of the Who's Right podcast. There's Jasmine Kane. And then what happened was Doug played her music. She was supposed to retweet from her Twitter to let her people know that to check out the podcast.
Right.
And she just she got, typical whore. She got what she wanted. She got the money and then off she goes. Well, basically with hookers, that's why you pay them first. Because after you dump your load and you're all warm and fuzzy, it really wasn't worth that much to you. So that's why they get paid first. So she never tweeted out the episode. So he had a meltdown. So every once in a while, I started following her and, she'll tweet something and I'll always say, hey, Doug, look. You know me, shit starter. Yeah, basically. So she tweets out a picture, and it says, I can't even.
Said that?
No, well, I can't tell what it says because now I'm blocked.
Yeah,
I can't see what it says. But basically, what it says was, here's a throwback picture of a photo shoot we did. So I bring up the picture. And she's there with this big, giant, tall hair and these muscular arms and everything. And I said, my God, she looks like Bryan Adams. So then I tweet out to Doug. I go, well, Doug, Jasmine Kane Rocks looks like Bryan Adams in drag in this picture, or is it me? And I sent the picture. So then he immediately comes back with, wow, that cuts like a knife. So then I wanted to see if she said anything. And the next thing I know, I get, you have been blocked by Jasmine Kane Rocks.
Twitter jail.
So I guess not. Oh, now I'm blocked now.
Oh, okay.
So it seems like I pissed the ladies off on Twitter. So then I said to Doug, I said, oh, looks like the fun's over.
You old smoothie. You.
I think the Adams remarks sent her right over the edge. But I'll tell you what, it was worth it.
In all honesty, I'm looking at the picture, and that hairstyle pretty much begs to have negative commentary thrown at it. Yeah. I mean, the rest of her looks great. I think. I think she looks pretty good. But the hair.
I guess I was just looking to kind of shit on her.
To me, it looked like David Bowie in Labyrinth.
Yeah, the hair does, yeah. But the side, she looked like Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
I'll put the picture in the show notes.
Get the photograph.
You could check it out. So, John, making friends, influencing people.
Yeah, the book, How to Make Friends and Influence People, never came across your nightstand table, did it? Just like,
no.
You charmer, you.
There's a couple courses that you could take, how to promote your podcast, how to promote your brand on social media. Everything it tells you to do, I do the complete opposite. Like George Costanza. Yeah, I'm the complete opposite.
Opposite John.
I'm opposite John. Whatever they tell you to do, I can't do it.
You don't do that.
I do the complete opposite. I constantly shoot myself in the foot. So what are you going to do?
Yeah. It's some magic. That is you.
That's true. So, what we haven't talked about in a while?
Pumpernickel?
That, but also sex dolls.
Sex robots. I kind of figured we haven't talked about that in a while.
We haven't talked about them. But the Chinese, God love those Chinese, they have come out right now with a doll robotic head. Because basically, they said, why do you need the whole doll? All right? You just need the robotic head.
So now there's no chance that the head's just going to clean itself.
I guess it can. It's got no arms.
Once again, it's
no arms. It can't clean itself.
Right. And I tell you, from what I've seen, it's a very attractive head. But it also makes facial expressions and it can talk to you, and it will also sing, which is kind of neat because it's, it has that kind of experience, and you can, okay.
Won't do that.
It might. It depends what you do to it.
If you smack it, I guess.
Yeah, if you smack it, it might. But basically, there you go. So basically what you can do is you can program it with your smartphone. You can have an app that'll make it make faces and talk or whatever.
They do have an app for everything.
They do have an app for everything. And it also on your PlayStation, your controller on your PlayStation can also operate this head. And I thought to myself, my God, just think about the possibilities. Like, say like one of your favorite singers is Adele, and, that would put you in the mood. So you come home, you get the remote out, the app out. So you get the music.
Hello. Light some candles.
Little candles.
It's me.
Little rose petals.
Right. Get into position.
Spray some perfume around, make it smell.
All these years you'd like to me.
See? Realistic. There you go. How much more realistic is that? But I know what you're saying. Oof. I know what you're saying. You're saying John, but I don't like Adele. I'm more of a Rihanna person.
I'll go with Adele.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Fine light in the beautiful sea. I chose to be happy. You and I.
She's still trying to sing. There you go. So anyhow, so they have that. But then I'm thinking to myself, what, like, let's say you come home and you're mad, okay? Or, there's somebody there's a person of the female persuasion and you just don't like her. There's always the opportunity for a little hate sex.
Little anger banger?
Anger banger. Yeah, there you go. Wow. Something like that. So with that, you would have...
Thank you, my friends. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very much for being here. And I love you all, too.
Oh, you don't know how much you love
Last
us all.
Night, I congratulated Donald Trump and offered to work with him on behalf of our country.
Yeah, but if she did make those sounds, Bill would have looked for Monica.
Well, yeah.
That's true.
That's true. But see, Bill might line up for this. Bill might line up for this. But then say maybe, Hillary's like, she's old news, she's out of the news. But who really, really is kind of taking Hillary's place? Is that Elizabeth Warren?
Well, I was troubled by that. One of the things I talk about in the book
Pocahontas
is the influence of money. Yeah. I describe it as a snake that slithers through Washington.
Yes.
Right? Could you see? Can you see the possibilities?
Or Debbie Blabbermouth Schultz?
It's funny you say that.
Look, it is none of anyone's business what someone who is a member of the private sector decides to accept in terms of compensation.
There you go, Debbie. You've never sounded so good.
Finish her.
Hold on. There you go. There we go. There you go, Deb. So anyhow, I thought that maybe that, I can see the technology now. Now you can start to see the market for the technology. Or is it me?
Well, it's just you.
No, it's not you, because I read a sociologist study that is indirectly related to this.
Okay.
Remember we were talking. We're saying like, okay, well, why are these guys going after all these sex robots? Why are men suddenly devoting all their scientific knowledge into building the perfect woman? And it's because men are signing off.
That's right.
They're done dating. They don't want to be married. And a lot of it's they're placing blame on the feminists, okay? Which I do see that being a big factor, because a lot of these guys, you can't get near a woman. They naturally did some polls.
What do you mean get near a woman? Finish that statement.
You can't. They made them unapproachable.
Okay.
Like on the job, you got to watch what you say. You got to, you got a situation now where a woman can have you fired from your job. They can have you locked up and thrown in jail with no evidence, with nothing more than her say so. And these guys are like, hey,
right,
that's it. They're just backing off. They're just getting away. That's one of the things, or one of the things. And I said, this actually ties into the whole sex robot thing.
Because you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Well, as a consequence, they're also seeing many of these same guys are polling. They have a marked increase in activity in video games and pornography on the internet.
Well, it's free.
Well, you got to do something,
Right.
But I'm saying, okay, well, the smarter guys, they're going to say, fuck the internet, fuck the porn and all that. I'm going to build me a woman.
That's right. I get the color I want.
Yeah.
I get everything.
Right.
I can change it up.
Now, I don't necessarily agree with this,
Mm-hmm.
but I do understand it.
Sounds like you're building a case for it.
Sure does. Well, I'm with Joe.
I'm just saying, my angle in all this is people got to straighten their fucking behavior out.
Well, I think we've kind of given up some of our manliness, to be quite honest with you. Here's my problem with the feminists. I understand.
I don't give
some of us, again, it's a bell curve. Some of us have, some of us haven't. Some of us is just thrown in the towel. So basically what I'm saying is that when you give in to that, you don't stand up for yourself because basically they lure that over you.
Well, they do. They hold it over your head.
They hold it over your head,
right?
Which is hard to do. So to me, you don't have to do this anymore. Everything you do, you get a cross look or they ask you that question like, you really want to do that? Is that how you're going to do that? You're going to wear that? Is that how you're really going to dress?
Right.
You're going out in flip-flops?
Yeah.
Don't you think you need new sneakers? You don't even get a chance to pick out your own clothes anymore. Like they buy everything for you. Right. You're basically like their dress-up doll, kind of, sort of. We've lost our masculinity, to be quite honest with you. And this is how we're trying to get it back, I think.
There's always going to be a backlash.
Well, women,
because
they want to be treated equal until they're treated equal.
Well,
and
that
that
was also a big thing too.
They don't like it at all.
There are more women in the workforce than men.
Really?
This is a little. Oh yeah. There's more.
I did
women
not know that.
Well, there's more women born.
Yeah,
than boys, and women.
Notwithstanding,
girls are biologically stronger at birth. There's a lower instances of infant death or mortality among female babies and male babies.
Suffice to say, numerically, there are now more women working than men in this country.
Yeah.
That's something you're not hearing about.
And
for all this talk of equality, also, in certain professions, men don't even come close to what women make. And that's another thing you're not seeing. They're keeping very quiet about that. And a lot of these guys are like, hey, what the fuck? Basically, a lot of these guys are signing out because they're saying, hey, we got problems too. We're getting stepped on. We're getting cut out. We're getting,
But we're supposed to be able to handle because we're men.
Right, exactly. And basically, they're being told, well, fuck you. You don't matter anymore. You're a man.
So when you try to hold a woman to the same standards that you would hold a man to, they get their feelings hurt.
Well, not only that. Okay, another statistic is that more women are earning graduate degrees than men right now.
Okay.
Something else you don't hear much about. One of the reasons for it is because we've been emphasizing on women's education, and well, what about men's education? Well, men can go to hell. They're okay.
So basically what I'm trying to say here is that, when we treat women equally, like you would treat a guy, they get hurt, they get their feelings hurt, and then they start to say, well, you wouldn't talk to a guy. You're talking to us that way because you're a woman. No, we're talking to you that way because we're treating you like we would treat a guy, and you can't handle it. You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Exactly.
Wrong one.
You can't handle the truth.
Absolutely. That's why we have the...
Not me.
The sex robot.
You're already wrecked in, my friend.
Yeah.
You've already... See, you...
I planted my flag on the reality, and I like them warm and fuzzy.
Like 92, I think it was.
Yeah, and they'll wash themselves.
See what happens is it's a long time ago.
Coming up on 25 years.
There you go. Quarter of a decade ago.
Now,
quarter of a century ago.
I'm in the camp of, I don't give a fuck. Whatever.
I hear you.
Right now, it's the young guys who have to sweat this shit out because...
And then the women, I see it all the time. Their thing is like, we're bitches. All right, I do what I want. I say what I want. And then, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. I'm like, if we said that to you, you would kick us in the balls. I saw a woman that I know. I'm going to leave names out of here.
Because you want to get
Helen
blocked
Slater.
on Twitter again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Helen Slater said.
So Helen Slater said that I hate people. That's why I only have 5 friends. And I swear to God, I wanted to tweet back. The reason you have 5 friends is you have a twat. If you didn't have a twat, you wouldn't even have 5 friends.
Mm-hmm.
That would have.
But I didn't.
Twitter jail.
I didn't do that.
I figure one block in a week is enough.
One cock block is enough.
Exactly. On the East Coast, we're supposed to get pouring rain this weekend. So if you're not out doing anything, or you're just getting ready to go out.
Yeah, I lucked out. I got relieved early today. It was nice.
Relieved.
Well,
they were overstaffed and they started reading names down by
get what-
seniority. And I was like, oh boy, if they get them. Because I was walking on the
Joke
damn
went
river.
right over his head. Deuce got relieved at work.
Yeah, 4 o'clock, 2 hours early. He says, yep, I'll go home.
Okay, still.
Took a power nap.
Right over his head.
Able to eat. It's all about me now, John.
Certainly is. The other thing that I was going to talk about was there's a podcast out there called the Bro Ron Podcast, Bro-Ron Podcast. And you can find that on iTunes. I'll put a link to it in the
Or your podcast or
catcher of choice. Yes. So they have been retweeting our stuff, liking our stuff. So I said, you know what, let me listen to these guys. So I go over and listen to them. Holy cow. They are the Redneck Brand X Podcast, or we are the Yankee Bro Ron's Podcast. They're basically...
Well, according to Jess, we're rednecks here in Jersey.
We are, but they're a little bit more redneck than we are. It's surprisingly...
Like Jersey's a backwater.
Down here...
Compared to Maryland?
Well, hey, you go South Jersey, South Jersey...
Cumberland County.
Cumberland County.
Salem County.
That's a
you might as well be in Alabama.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Alabama.
Exactly.
That's
so
fine.
I enjoyed the show.
Mm-hmm.
If you like this show, go over check them out. I really thought that I'd listened to a couple shows and they were pretty good. So I was a little nervous. I was like, are they listening to us? Are we listening to them? Or did we just decide to do the same thing at the same time?
Was it Kismet?
Hush your face, is coming straight to your ears. A podcast network that's changing gears, bringing fresh, funky pods with a fresh, funky beat. A family of pods that are bringing the heat. There ain't no stopping us. Keep coming back to us, sick-ass pods that'll make you hush. www. Hush your face. www. Hush your face. www. Hushyourface.com.
City of Toronto tears down handyman park stairs in Toronto in one of the parks where people would walk down this hill. It would get muddy and people were falling. So the town was going to build a set of steps. So they go out and they get estimates, $65,000.
Sure, why not? But that's Canadian money, so I mean, it was really only $17.99
American money.
Yeah.
One of the residents said, that's a ridiculous amount of money. So he went to Home Depot, bought $550 worth of material, and built the steps.
Himself.
Gratis.
He probably did a better job, right?
And faster, probably.
Well, the steps were there, and he was all proud of himself. And the city of Toronto said, you know what? We can't have that. We can't have that at all. So they went and sent a work crew in, and they tore down the steps, and they went out and got new estimates. And now, instead of $65,000, it's $10,000. So look, they're saving $45,000.
That's how they're going to spend it. But they're still spending
Yeah.
$9,000 more
Right.
than this guy.
Than this guy did.
He probably knocked it out in like a day or 2 days.
It was
most.
a day and a half.
Yeah.
He's a retired mechanic. He built the stairs for a mere $550 after several neighbors tumbled down the muddy slope leading to the park garden.
Tumble.
The work, which only took a few hours, came after the community was told to wait for a $65,000 to $150,000 solution. 65 was the low end. The stairs were declared unsafe by city bylaw officers and were quickly cordoned off with caution tape. I was relieved last night when the mayor phoned me to thank me to help the city to realize that they were doing not the right thing. So the mayor calls a news conference and says, a whole big stone fell from my heart. Now we're going to go get steps that are more economical and the people will be safe. That was the story.
Even if they paid, I just did some math.
Yeah, I saw him working the computer.
I had the calculator going. That's why I was riffing.
Yeah. So it's like if it took, let's say it took 2 8-hour days to build these steps.
Yes.
And let's say they paid them an absurd amount of money, like $65 an hour.
Okay.
That would be $1,040 plus the $550 in material that this guy spent. And he still would have been much cheaper.
We forgot about the kickback to the mayor.
Well,
got to kick back to the...
Got to grease those palms.
Yeah. Just like Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School. And if you're going to pour any concrete, I'm sure the Teamsters are going to want to talk to you.
Exactly. So we here in this township here, I really think that we almost have to burn this whole country down from the bottom and start from the bottom up again.
Absolutely. I think so.
So about...
As you guys call for anarchy, I'm going to just kind of step away.
I understand. Well, let me tell my...
I'm not saying anarchy or armed revolution.
So let me tell my story, and you tell me what you think happened.
Right.
About 15 years ago, they decided to build these houses over around the corner from me, down the road. I think they built like 20 houses. It could be more or less. I forget what it was. So they build the houses. Everybody comes in. The people are living in the houses. Fine. All of a sudden, one couple has a problem with their sewage. So they call a plumber. Plumber has to replace the pipe from the street to the house. Mm-hmm. So he comes in and starts digging up the pipe. He starts digging up the pipe. All he's coming up with is broken car battery casing. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The guy's house that was in front of this lot, he and his brothers owned a
I remember the story now that you say this.
Okay. So now, all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, I don't know. They brought the EPA in and all that. Now it's a Superfund site. They've got to come in there and get rid of all these batteries.
Yeah,
they dug foundations. They dug troughs to get the sewage in. How did they not see this? How was this not caught when they started to build these houses?
Mm-hmm.
They pulled permits. When you pull permits, you have to have inspections.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So how did this all happen? So now there's a big story. It's on the news, Philadelphia News, everything. So now this town has a private Facebook group. If you go in there and mention the story or put a link to the story in here, all of a sudden within a day it disappears.
Mm-hmm.
They take it down. So then I said, why is these stories being taken down? And the administrator of the Facebook group said, listen, I have kids and a family here to protect, and I'm not taking these threats. I said, threats? What are you, being threatened? If you're being threatened, take and screenshot the threats and post them in here, and we'll have those parties, and then we'll deal with those parties. They should not be able to bully you into this, because as far as I'm concerned, listen, I'm no Columbo, but all you got to do is go across over there, pull the permits, find out who the inspectors were at the time. The township's on the hook for all this.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, they're walking away like, the heads up in the air. They're not paying attention to none of this. So that's why I say the payoffs that the people get around here. Now, I say that, but I have no proof that anybody got paid off, but I can't think any other way this would happen.
Yeah, right.
Somebody got greased, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Well, good way for them.
Yeah, well, there was two types of greasing going on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The people that bought the houses got greased too, and not in a good way.
Yeah, there's lead all over the place in the soil.
Right, and you got another Superfund.
And it was a pretty upscale community too.
Yeah, the houses were
like really expensive houses.
Yeah, they were. $250,000, $300,000 houses
15 years ago. Yeah.
All right, let's say they were $200,000.
That was a lot of money 15 years ago.
Right, exactly.
That's like a $500,000 here in Jersey. That's about a $500,000 house now.
Right. So they're not saying anything. People are having a fit. Insurance companies don't want to hear it. The builder, you can't find him with a $100 postcard. They went out of business, and the guy who owned it died.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who
probably from lead poisoning.
What I don't know. And then the other place over here, which is the junkyard, their insurance is maxed out, so they don't want to talk about it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And these poor people are stuck. They can't sell their houses now. So what are you going to do?
No, you're stuck there.
Oh, Jerry's here.
It's like a Love Canal thing. Hey, Charlie, what's up?
Oh, okay. So Jerry puts in my famous quote, which is, I might have fucked some goats, but I'd be damned if I put a gerbil up my ass.
You want to borrow my reading glasses?
Yeah, I know. I can't stand this. I got to tilt this thing so I can see what's going on.
Well, it's funny we did the Canada story. Brian Tope's on, and I'm sure he's going to have something to say about it.
Right. Yeah. How much is $550 in American? Is that like
probably about $470 to $490, maybe? I guess.
I think it's. I don't know.
It used to be really
help us out here, Brian.
A big disparity back in the day.
It's not as bad as it was.
Like when we went to Canada with the bitter Asian man, like it was really. Like if you went there then,
I think it was 75 cents to the dollar.
We got a lot back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were like living.
Did you have to actually exchange money? They didn't take American money?
They would be glad to take American money because they make out. We exchange it because I'm not going to pay more. It was funny because we ate in a restaurant and we were eating and drinking and everything. So I'm like, I'll have Molson Canadian and we're drinking beer, and Wave stupidly is drinking Michelob. So then the bill comes and everything, and he goes, "They billed me for an import." That's not right. I said, Wave, you're in Canada. Michelob is the import. So he paid more for
Michelob.
For Weasel Piss Michelob, and we're drinking Molson. We're drinking really good stuff.
Then when we went to the restaurant, we rang up like a $300 bill. you know.
It was more than that. I paid it on my credit card.
Well,
here we go again.
Yeah.
How much was it?
I'll have to go and watch the video.
It was closer to, with the tip and everything. It was closer to $5.
Oh, okay. Well,
really?
The tip. But I remember.
But that was in Canadian.
That was in Canadian. So Brian says it's $1.40 on a dollar. So
there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not as bad as it was back.
Thank
in
you,
the
Brian.
It's pretty. That's it's almost.
No, it was really like back in the 70s and 80s. Like $1 American dollar
was worth $2.
You would almost get like $2 Canadian dollars.
2 loonies?
Yeah, it was like pretty.
Aren't they called loonies?
They're called dollars.
I thought they were called loonies.
It says $1 on the. What's wrong with you?
I thought their money was called loonies.
No, they're called dollars, just like we
dollars.
are.
What do I know? What do I know?
Canadian dollar.
They're calling you loony.
Maybe I am loony.
Making shit up.
We might. And just for historical fact, we did get detained at the Canadian border by the bitter Asian man. I've said this before, but I always have to say it, because how the hell do you piss off the Canadians so much that you get detained at their border?
They're the nicest people.
He did it.
They got the reputation of being the most polite, nicest people in the world, and we got detained.
We get detained.
Why didn't they just give him a cavity search? That would have been the best.
If he didn't shut his mouth, that would have been the next thing for all of us,
You guys would have all got the...
Yeah, and I was driving. And the driver's always deemed the ringleader. Yeah, get him.
Get him.
Why he's named the bitter Asian man.
Friggin' bitter Asian man.
Yeah, you guys got detained by Dudley Do-Right. That's what jury
No, it was a woman.
It was a woman and a guy.
Yeah, it was a woman.
And
I'll tell you guys are like the piss blankets of punchlines.
Yeah, real cute girl, too. Very polite.
Then he used Mounties for that.
Directed us to see that building over there. You need to drive to there. Like, here we go.
Stay there.
And stay there.
Now,
meanwhile, the other vehicle with Grey Wolf and Karen and
they just
Camille
cruised right by,
and Dick Face, they just like cruised right in. No
as soon as we get away from the booth, they go Cy, and Don kicks in. Thanks a lot, Cy.
They're such a smart ass.
Gator attacks homeless man taking bath in the pond. It ate his toes.
That's it?
Frederick, lucky.
Frederick, that's the headline.
He must not like the taste.
Frederick Iman, 68, attacked in Port Charlotte. A homeless man in Florida who was taking a bath in a retention pond had his toes chomped off by a gator. Frederick Iman, 68, was washing himself in a Port Charlotte when he was bitten multiple times, according to a statement from the county's fire department. The man somehow managed to walk to a nearby surgical center where employees called 911. It ate his toes off. It ate his toes off? The emergency operator answers. He was airlifted to Lee Memorial Hospital, where he was being treated for serious but non-life-threatening injuries. He sustained bites to his left foot, leg, and groin area. The 9-foot reptile has been seen before in the stormwater treatment basement, but had not attacked anyone.
Oh, well, that makes it okay.
You see a 9-foot alligator lurking around. Says, well, up to this point, he's never attacked anyone before.
But
he's a friendly alligator.
But the guy goes in as bathing.
Right.
Now, if a 9-foot alligator gets a hold of this guy and he didn't kill the guy, and this is, he got bit in the groin area, he lost some toes, but it could have been a lot worse. I'm just telling you right now that the homeless guy didn't taste too good. Well, that alligator didn't like the taste of him.
Well, if he was homeless, and let's say that the alligator was like successful, nobody would have known.
No.
I mean, God forbid, let's say it was like one of your kids or someone in the that has a family to go home to.
Right.
And they disappear. How many homeless people are disappearing every year in retention funds?
From the alligators.
I guess. So basically, Florida's going to cut down their homeless numbers by putting a sign up saying free baths over at this retention.
There you go.
I'll
just make them homeless and footless.
The creature was captured and will be killed, authorities said.
Oh, now they do.
Now they blame it on the alligator. He's only doing what he does. Why is it his fault?
Because he's got the taste of human flesh.
Yeah.
The taste of blood.
First of all, I mean, why are you in a retention pond?
Well, where else are you going to take a bath when you're homeless?
Oh, are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
Well, you're trying to stay out of what workhouses?
Yeah, it's a line from
You know what they need to do?
What do they need to do, Joe?
They need to arm those monkeys and send them after this alligator. The alligators.
Oh, from the monkeys from last week?
The monkeys,
the sex crazy.
Do you think that if you gave the monkeys guns, they would go after the alligator?
Nah,
I don't
they
think
go
so.
after everything else.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that video of the guys? They look like they must have been like mercenaries or in the jungle, And they gave the chimpanzee an AK-47.
Yeah.
What?
And I hope that's not a fake video. And
I don't think it is.
It looks pretty goddamn real.
What did the chimp do?
I started shooting
it.
Yeah. And they're like ducking out of the way.
Yeah,
and it's just like he fired off about 25 or 30 rounds. And it was like a baby chimp. You know, just, they're all laughing. Oh, look how cute he is! And he had the AK-47.
Did he have that? You know how like chimps can smile? Would he have a big smile on his face when he was like shooting away? Or?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know, but I mean, because what happened was, believe it or not, the chimp really didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah,
and when he pulled the trigger, he was more shocked than anything what would happen. So
he's just locked up, and they're strong. He didn't drop that rifle.
No, he kind of whirled around and was like, and everybody's diving out of the way.
Yeah, the laughter and hilarity soon ended at that point.
Why would you give a chimp a loaded AK-47?
I don't know what, but they
don't have cable.
You might as well let them drive bulldozers and send them into a housing development.
But they look like they were like Haitians or something. They were some kind of communist mercenaries or something.
They were dark brown people.
Yeah, well, I don't know where it happened. It could have been in Africa. It could have been in the islands.
Well, where do we have chimps at? I don't think there's any chimps over here. I think they got to be over in Africa.
It's in Africa, yeah.
So they're over there, and they say, "Hey, let's get."
It was probably Somalia or Ethiopia.
What would happen if we gave a chimp a loaded AK-47?
Yeah, it becomes human season. That's what happens when you give a chimp a loaded AK-47.
So now you want to arm the Florida monkeys, and you think it's going to solve the homeless problem. I think
he was looking for the alligator problem, not the homeless problem. You made really a leap there, John.
Oh, that's right.
You got to figure it'll be inevitable.
Oh, you want him to shoot the alligator?
Yeah, I
thought you wanted him to go shoot the homeless people.
Wow.
I figure it's going to be inevitable that the alligators and the monkeys are going to recognize the alligators at their prime threat.
You think that the monkeys think that the alligators are the prime threat with us chasing them all over the place?
Yeah, well,
I think the monkeys are smarter than you think.
You're a smart motherfucker.
The monkeys are smarter. You know why? Because they know we got all these. Oh, they're only monkeys. Protect them, don't you know? And alligators, they just don't give a fuck. They'll eat those monkeys whole.
I'm sure they will. I think it's a race between the alligators and the monkeys.
Yeah,
you put the alligators
and the Burmese pythons too. They're in there.
Right.
It's nature.
There's something else. Those gigantic. There's like some kind of gigantic like muskrat or something like. That's running rampant down in like Louisiana. Some of the southern states they got lost in the swamps or the bayous. They're not indigenous to this country. It's some kind of
course.
Yeah, some kind of like giant muskrat or rat, like about this swamp rat or something like about this big. I think it comes from Central. Some lunatic got that into the United States.
Well,
and they're overwhelming
I heard this story again. It could be urban legend
about a man named Jed.
No, it's not about a man named Jed. So there was these people. They were on vacation down in Mexico.
See,
and they're down there on the beaches or whatever, and they see this dog come over, and they're like, "Hey, look at this dog! It's so cute!" And they're feeding the dog, and they're petting the dog, and they put the dog. They bring the dog back to the hotel, and the dog's in there sleeping with them and everything. So they figure, "Hey, you know what? Such a nice dog. We'll take it home with us." So they go and they get to the border. And they go, "Do you have anything here?" And they go, "Just us and our dog." And the guy looks at the dog, goes, "That ain't no dog. That's probably what you're talking about. Right. It's a rat. It's from the rat family.
Right.
The size of a dog."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, you can't bring that in there." So they promptly took the animal out and basically just, put it out of no, Fluffy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So people take these things, they bring them over here.
Yeah, they're running amok in
they're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, and there's no natural predator for them. Because we don't have big giant snakes in it. Heretofore, we had no big giant snakes in this country.
They brought this fish over, and it was
snakehead fish.
Yeah, snakehead fish.
Yeah,
and
I saw one of those bastards.
And
they're in Jersey. I saw one in my neighborhood.
Well, they were trying to keep them in Maryland, and now they walk across land and go to other bodies of water.
Well, I don't think they walk. They kind of
they crawl. They crawl.
What do you think?
I think get it right.
Well, I'll tell you one thing they don't do. They don't swim.
Like a Slim Jim. It's just like...
And, of course, they can only see the sky because they can't articulate their heads downward to see where they're going. They bump into each other quite a bit.
You know this for a fact? Hold on. Well, we got to put the brakes on this story. So anyhow, I guess the guy's okay. The homeless guy?
Yeah, he'll make a recovery.
The alligator, not so much.
Yeah. Well,
that's what happens.
Shit happens. There's a lot of people that lose a lot of pets and everything down in Florida.
Yeah. Oh, the best video I've seen in the past 2 weeks, it was people, they found this little bunny rabbit.
That's not a rabbit.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
So they're in the front yard and little kids there.
I love those videos. There's about 1,000 of those videos, and I get a kick out of them every single time.
So they're like, oh, it's mommy's over there. So they put the little bunny, go ahead, go to your mommy, and it runs across the front lawn. And they're like, oh, isn't that cute? And it gets about
hawk
between the neighbor's house, and this hawk comes down and whack, hits it, and you hear this little baby rabbit squealing as it's leaving.
Yeah.
And the mother's like, oh, and they don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You hear the father laughing toward the end of the video, like, yeah, because, this is a real pain in my ass. I got to, come out here and do this shit.
This maudlin
I've seen about 7 or 8 videos like that. One was a mouse. Another one was a rabbit.
Yeah, I saw one with a mouse. They nursed the mouse back to health. Oh, look, the mouse is okay now. They let him go. He runs about 15 feet. Here comes a hawk. Whoosh, takes him right off.
Well, they had this little white foo-foo dog, probably like a Shih Tzu in the dog park.
Bless you.
And an owl comes down, and the guy's got it off the leash. The owl comes down and grabs that dog and starts to fly away with the dog, and the guy's running after it. And I guess the owl, I don't know whatever happened, but he dropped the dog. So
that's how they kill him. That's how they kill him.
Well, I think what happened was that the guy was screaming so much that the owl was like, fuck this, I don't need this, and just dropped the dog.
Got all disconcerted.
Yeah, just dropped the dog. Yeah, what's going on here? So dropped the dog, and I guess the dog was okay. I think there's another one out there where it grabs a kid, but I think
that's fake.
That's fake.
Yeah,
in the park. That was one of the best, because that one's been around about 10 or 11 years.
It has happened.
Where they grab the kid?
Where an eagle tried to take off with an infant. Yeah, it has happened.
Oh,
but that particular video that you saw, that was a fake.
That was a fake.
But it was one of the best fakes out there.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple bald eagles that are nested over here, about a mile from me, and they're bigger than you.
They're huge.
They're huge.
Oh, yeah, they got about a 6-7 foot wingspan.
Yeah. But I'll never forget there was another video of I guess it was either a hawk or an eagle, not a bald eagle, and it's just sitting there, I guess on its eggs, and this owl comes in, swoops in, and grabs the eagle and takes it off. It flies away with it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself,
the eaglet, you mean the baby eagle?
No, this was like a full-size eagle. This owl was big and came in.
Well, then it wasn't a bald eagle then.
No, I said it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't a bald eagle.
Yeah.
The bald eagles they don't have the white heads until they're about 3 or 4 years old.
Well,
when they're born, they have.
Could have been a younger one.
Down at work, I'm starting to see them all the time now. They're
amazing. They're
everywhere, man.
I still can't get used to seeing, you see them fly by.
I see them at work. I was watching one today. They just hang out, and they have the most pay. This bald eagle just sat on this piling for 2.5 hours. He never budged.
Yeah. What else you gonna do?
Yeah. Then he flew away. Then he came back and sat
just
there
hanging out
another 3 hours. Just
he's probably waiting for something.
I saw a video where
beautiful.
An eagle picks up a fox, and this fox.
What was her name?
And, hey, look.
Was it Jasmine Kane?
Hey, I'm an eagle.
Picked up a fox. Hey, baby.
Picked up a fox. But and he's trying, and this fox is doing his damnedest to get this eagle off, and the eagle just gets him, flies up about maybe 35, 40 feet, and just lets him go
like a parasailer.
That's the end of the fox, And
they can fight right out of you.
That's true.
Sticky-fingered socialist Bernie Sanders is apparently stealing his neighbor's Washington Post subscription, as any good socialist might do.
I was not stealing the paper. I was merely borrowing it to get to the information.
And perhaps the funniest and most fitting news of the year, WMAL radio host Chris Plant told his audience of a story he heard from friends about the elderly senator. A man living next to Sanders apparently called the Post to complain that he was hardly ever receiving his subscription. After an investigation into the matter, the paying customer realized that it was his neighbor, Senator Sanders, who was stealing the paper right from under his nose.
Jesus.
I only steal it when I'm in town. When I'm back in Vermont, I get the paper from my other neighbor.
Bernie Sanders and his wife, Jane, when they are in Washington, D.C., live in this house on Capitol Hill, part of their vast real estate empire. They're like wannabe Trumps with their real estate holdings. The next-door neighbor, their neighbor on Capitol Hill, called the Washington Post and told the Washington Post that they were canceling their subscription because their very expensive Sunday Post stopped showing up. Wasn't there this week, last week, the week before. Then it was there 1 week, but the week before it wasn't delivered. So I'm canceling my subscription to the Post because your delivery person never gets to me. The Washington Post said, please do not cancel your subscription. We will investigate with the delivery person and we will get back to you. So the Post investigated. They got back to the person and they said, listen, we talked to the delivery person and they're claiming they have seen you come out of your house again and again, grab the paper on Sunday mornings. Immediately as a paper delivery person delivers the paper, they've seen you come out of your house and pick up the newspaper. So, sir, you are lying to us. So the neighbor said, okay, I've been coming out and picking up the paper. Yes, and we got a description from the delivery person. You are an older man with gray hair, balding, and little round glasses. And the guy said, I'm like, in my 50s, and I've got a full head of dark hair, but my neighbor is Bernie Sanders. And Bernie Sanders has been coming out every Sunday morning and stealing his next-door neighbor's Washington Post. First, it was reported that the socialist was kicked out of the freaking commune now for being too lazy. And now he is apparently stealing a newspaper from a neighbor who is actually shelling out the dough for it. Sanders truly is an authentic socialist.
I just want to say that every American is entitled to have a newspaper.
The newspaper should be paid. The newspaper should be free.
Not just for the billionaires and the millionaires. Every American.
Every American should get a free copy of the Washington Post. And I was just exercising my right as an American to get the Washington Post for free.
Now, it's funny because, I'm sure you've had, I think everyone has a story that they can relate to with newspaper subscriptions. I canceled the subscription because it was in the bushes.
The only person I know that reads the paper anymore is Jerry from Bad Cop because he's always taking pictures of it.
I had a senior still. You know why? Coupons. The seniors still get them.
You think Jerry's getting the coupons?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Jerry's still here?
How do you know he's not just getting it offline?
Yeah.
Jerry, why do you read the paper?
Is Jerry still on?
Yeah, he's here.
How else are you going to get informed somewhat?
Well, I mean, there's other news outlets.
Like?
TV, radio, internet. There's 3. Don't you start. Come on. Well, I mean,
if I had to throw a senior citizen out of my uncle's store over the fucking coupons in the
they came
Sunday
in and just took the coupons?
Well, what they were doing is the seniors, Sunday, they would come in. While you're busy with something else, they'd start sifting through the paper, grab all the coupons, and shove it in the paper they're buying. So they get double the amount of coupons.
Oh, those little thieving bastards.
Oh, yeah, they're friggin' pricks.
I wonder who they voted for.
Yeah. So
they didn't vote for me because I got booted by Hillary.
So later on, I'm in there, it's busy. This guy comes in, he puts a paper on the counter, right? So I ring him up. He goes, oh, what are you doing? I'm ringing you out for your paper. You're buying the paper. I'm not buying his paper. I'm giving it back to you. I want my money back. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, was there a problem? He said, yeah, I'll tell you what the problem is. You're taking all the coupons out of here.
I'm taking them.
Right. And, well, that's what I thought. When he said you, I figured in the figurative sense, you somebody here in the store. I said, oh, okay, well, here's your money. Yeah, And I said, look, we have a problem with people taking the coupon. No, not the other people. You took it. I know you took it. He starts like, well, as we know, I don't respond well under those circumstances.
Well, how did he know you took the coupon? Why would he say that?
He was just being a dickhead, right?
Okay.
So
he was casting aspersions.
So now I'm biting my lip. You reverse ring it. You got to give him his money back. I open the register, and as the door opens, he slams his hand on the register. That's the 3rd goddamn time you did that to me. You're dirty enough to do it. Yeah. At that point, I don't care how old you are. You put a finger in my face, and I come around the counter, now he's backing away and everything. I got him by the collar. I gave him the literal bum's rush. Kick the door open, throw him out. And as I'm throwing him out, a woman's coming up with her daughter, and they're all alarmed at this. I said, stay the hell out of here. You don't come, You have to tell, why would I take I have no reading.
I would have to say to the guy, sir, if you got ripped off twice before, when you picked up the paper.
Wouldn't you check?
You would check.
Wouldn't you check to see if the coupons were there?
No. That's not something I should have to do, I guess. Just.
What if he was taking the paper out, putting the coupons in the car, and then bringing the couponless paper back in and trying to get his money back?
There's another issue with newspapers that I used to, when I had the store. You had the Philadelphia paper, right, and then you had the South Jersey paper. They don't put the coupon companies don't put the coupons in both papers. They'll mark it for regionality. Okay, so what are you laughing at?
Cherry says, that's what I've always done, techno bully.
That's right. So they would say they would buy the Philadelphia Inquirer and the Courier Post, and they would say, hey, in this paper, we got a coupon for this, but it's not in the other one. And they would come in and give you a raft of shit for that.
Say, listen, dude.
It's not in that. I said, look.
Here's your problem. Call the paper.
Right.
I sell the paper.
It's better to go to shoot the messenger. That's what they're going to do.
I sell the paper. This is the coupons that are coming up. You think I changed it? You think I have you think I called the Courier and the whatever it was at the time, the bulletin, and said, you know what?
Wow.
Don't put these. That's how far I go back.
1981. Right. That's when they went out of business.
Yeah. All right. And you think I'm calling them and telling them what coupons to put in there? You jackass.
And you made nothing on newspapers, and you still don't.
Right.
You make nothing. When newspapers were 35 cents, how much do you think it cost me as a retailer? Just take a guess.
25.
33.5 cents.
You made 2.5 cents on a paper?
Right. So if someone stole one newspaper, you lost a profit on every single paper you sold that day.
Well, what happens is the paper is like a draw.
Right.
You don't care how much
no, it's so expensive now. They're like $1 for a newspaper now.
Well,
Can you imagine spending $1 a day and they're small?
I'm no Jerry.
They're tiny.
I did. Well, before I used to stop every day at Wawa and get the Courier because the South Jersey section.
Of course. I mean, why wouldn't you?
What you would find in the Courier South Jersey section, you will find nowhere. I mean, you
I'm
won't
not disagreeing with you.
No, so
I'm not.
That's me.
I'm not. Listen, you guys do what you want to do. I'm tired of being called techno bully. What do I know?
I stopped getting newspapers years ago, and they were far too liberal.
Oh, it's not the price
for the
of
politics.
Well, it's like the slant, and then it was in the bushes. I drew the line when I couldn't find the paper, and then we got this horrific, we're going to get, say, a monsoon rainstorm, and there was papers draped, like paper mache hanging out of my tree. And that newspaper had been up there for weeks. Never knew it was up there. And finally the rain just flushed it all out and it just burst open. It was that was that.
Finally, this goes back a ways, but you used to get those free papers. They would
the weekly update. Okay.
And then they would come and throw them on your lawn, right? And then you'd have to pick them up off your lawn and throw them in the
recycling.
Trash.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
So then finally I just said this, I got 4 or 5 of them. And I said to the guy, stop throwing these on my lawn. Stop it.
Hey, ask us paper boys what we did with the weekly updates.
Just throw them right in the trash. It's the same thing now.
Pain in the ass.
Well, first of all, now they don't do that. So what they do is they stuff them in your mailbox.
Yeah.
And you can't. So every week or whatever, you get the coupons in your damn mailbox, which I don't like either. I don't want them.
I don't like that. I don't like
because you're not a chick.
See, a lot of countries are.
That's true.
Chicks love coupons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about New Zealand again, but when we were there, you put a thing on your mailbox that says no junk mail, and you don't get junk mail. That's it. If it's not a bill, if it's not a utility, if it's commercial, and I don't want it, if it's a solicitation, I should have the right to say I don't want any.
They don't know what's in an envelope.
What's that?
They have no idea what's in an envelope.
But then my point is, then why do I have to get the flyers from the Acme, the ShopRite?
Because they paid the United States Postal Service to deliver that.
I don't want it. I know. I understand.
Matter what you want.
Listen. Right now, the United States Post Office would deliver a dog turd if you paid for it because they're having all kinds of problems over there.
Mm-hmm.
As far as nobody's email killed the post office basically.
Well, it's a bunch of things that affected
text
them.
And all that stuff. I go to the mailbox. This is what I do. I wait 2 weeks. I go to the mailbox. I grab everything that's in the mailbox. I come in. I separate letters and all that stuff, the papers and all that, just right into the trash. Right into the trash. Then I look at the envelopes and I'm just in the trash, in the trash, in the trash. I need this one. In the trash, in the trash, in the trash. I need this one. So out of a whole mailbox full of letters and papers and nonsense, I get maybe 3 things I need.
Okay. That's the price you pay for living in America.
There you go.
You have the First Amendment.
There you go. You got the First Amendment. But
you selective First Amendment defenders use?
Me?
I think my rights I think your rights end where mine begin. And if somebody because
they
technically
have a right to free speech. That's free speech.
Yeah, but
the government can't stop it.
It's not about free speech. They're paying somebody to put something in the mailbox. That's
a government end.
And
they can't
they're
stop
not talking to me.
I'm lost here. All I'm saying is my mailbox gets filled up with crap that I don't want.
Yeah.
How do I stop that?
That's a federal law. If
I take my mailbox and rip it out of the fucking ground,
you're not allowed.
You're not allowed to do that.
Why?
You have to have by law, you have to have a place where they can deposit your mail. Your mail will be delivered.
Yeah.
I have to have a mailbox.
Or a P.O. box.
What if I don't? What if I go out to tomorrow, I take a chain, I put it on around that mailbox, and I rip it right out of the fucking ground? It's gone.
Have fun with that.
What are they going to do?
Well, they're not going to deliver
I bought the mailbox.
But then you have...
They're not going to deliver the mail.
I say do it, because maybe they'll build you a new mailbox.
No, they won't. They'll just dump it in a box and put it on your step. You'll get it. It might go a couple of weeks, but I assure you...
This is a worthy experiment.
Now, I almost want to do
it. You will get it.
I almost want to do that.
I want to try it.
I almost want to rip that mailbox out of the ground.
They'll start off being nice by putting something on your door saying, "We have mail of yours," but there was nowhere to put it.
And
you can pick it up at the post office.
That's okay.
Box.
Keep it. I don't want it. Keep it.
I just don't. Okay, junk mail's annoying enough.
I just wonder, in another 15 years, will we have a post office?
Yeah, that'll always be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, we got it. The United States has a very good postal system, in spite of all the troubles they got.
I hear you. They're just trying to make money too. I get it.
It's okay. In Europe, you can wait weeks before you get a mail from the guy down the street.
Yeah, they're busy.
And if they have a backlog of mail, you know what they'll do?
Throw it out.
They burn it. Contracts, bills, what the fuck? Just
how nice is that?
It's
yeah, suppose you got a check coming in when you rip out that goddamn mailbox of yours and they burn your checks.
So what happens is you put two mailboxes there. You put one, you say flyers and junk mail in here, and then the other one you say put letters in. Okay, so then they put the flyers and junk mail, and when they close it, it automatically bursts into flames, burns everything, and then the ashes just get blown out the back. Well, there you go.
What I used to do, they don't do this anymore because the post office is hurting for money and everything, and companies are too. You know how you used to get credit card applications, and they would give you a postage paid envelope to mail everything back to, you would fill out the form and everything. I would mail back garbage. I've mailed. Yeah, I would when I had my store, I would have the envelopes and I would just tear the papers up and I would stuff them in. One time I mailed back a banana peel because I was eating a banana at the time.
That is brilliant.
And they had to deliver it because it's a federal offense to open it up. So I was eating a banana and I just stuffed that in the envelope and sealed it and I mailed it out. So
that is so brilliant. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I constantly get 3 times a week. I get something from Capital One for a credit card, and I constantly rip it up.
No, mail it back to them full of garbage.
I should just take everything and keep mailing it back. So I call them. I'm like, guys, I don't want your credit card. Please stop mailing. They go, we'll take you off the list. Okay, I need your name, address, date of birth, social security number. I'm like, yeah, you know what else you need? I said, bullshit. I said,
keys to my house.
Well, yeah, we can't take it off unless you give us that information. I said, I don't want it.
I need it for them to get. I don't know why they would want your social.
Now I'm thinking that they're trying to scam you, and you put these things in there so you can get your information and just keep mailing. Right. And somebody will do it. Somebody will come in here and do it.
As long as you don't put your address inside the trash that you mail back, they'll have no idea who it is.
I love that. And you know what I'm going to do right now?
And they're paying for it.
So what I'm going to do right now
you got fishing lures loaded up with lead.
Yeah,
mail that back. Yeah, just something nice and heavy.
I got a better.
I don't think you want to use lead.
I got a better idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to print up these pieces of paper to say, listen to the Brand X podcast at www.brandxpodcast.com.
Now, see, maybe you just missed my previous statement where you said, don't do something with your address.
On my address.
Why would you incriminate yourself?
He's not. He's just putting in there.
Say, listen.
Oh, here on episode 60, we can hear your co-host clearly enumerating
No, he's got a point. You just make up little cards, say, brandxpodcast.com. What are they going to do? Say, I didn't print them up. What the fuck are you talking about? You got fingerprints, you got DNA.
I did that almost every day when I was in business.
That's the most brilliant idea I think I've ever heard.
Yeah, I have.
That's genius.
I got lots of them.
I like it. Listen, when you have a dumb idea, I say it, and when you have a brilliant idea, I say it. That is brilliant, my man.
The coup de grace was the banana peel, if I do say myself.
The banana peel in the postage paid envelope.
And then I just sealed it right up, mailed the banana peel.
The guy opens it up and it's like, it's a banana peel.
All fruit flies buzzing around,
Oh, my God. That is classic.
Yeah,
that is. I can't wait. Now
you're looking forward to getting junk mail.
Thank you. You've solved my problem.
And you can thank Congress and the First Amendment because they have to deliver it.
The First Amendment and junk mail now, because now I have something to do.
But I want to see what happens when you rip that mailbox out.
Oh, I have a feeling.
You will get it.
The mail.
Eventually, they'll send you friendly reminders. Hey, we need a place to put your mail. And it'll be like, this is the second time we're reaching out to you.
I don't want a mail. I don't want it.
You'll get it.
I don't want the mail.
They will deliver it.
At some point, I figure they'll threaten you because they say, "Hey,
they'll find you.
Yeah,
they will
Let's
find
get some
you.
money.
Find me for what?
Not having a mailbox.
I don't want a mailbox.
You have to have one.
I don't have to do shit except pay taxes and die. I don't have to have a mailbox.
You don't have to pay taxes.
I don't have to pay taxes?
The only thing you have to do is die. If you decide not to pay taxes, they'll just lock you up.
Oh,
okay.
Well,
So you know,
I'm trying to stay. I'm trying to stay away from being locked up.
Stay out of jail.
I'm trying to stay away from that.
Yeah, jail's not good. Techno bully doesn't take it up the ass that well, unless it's a goat.
I don't get fucked by goats.
Not gerbils.
I fuck goats and don't take a gerbil up my ass.
Right.
Please get it right.
We got the Jimmy on the
All
line.
right, let me get the mark there. Hey, Jerry, that's about the 1 hour and 1 minute mark that I said that. So you can just go right over there and get that.
Well, it might be different after you edit this down.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Jerry, after that conversation, it's at the 22-minute mark.
Because John can't keep quiet.
Oh, the Jimmy's trying to call me.
Yes. Oh, you missed him.
Well,
he's going.
First of all, if he sees that I'm on doing the podcast, why would he try to call me?
Because he wants to berate you.
He wants to do so,
I'm sure.
I'm recording here.
I like how
Do you think I'm just going to stop in the middle of this?
I like how I'm looking at the screen and a big balloon pops up with his picture, Jimmy's.
Oh, what did he do? He did the, I guess he gave us a like.
You're not going to call the Jimmy back?
I would if I was able to take the call on the air.
I
would call him back.
How'd you do it before?
All right. So let's talk about this. Exactly. So I went out and I bought this brand new mixer because the other one was giving us problems.
Right.
And I want to take this mixer and throw it right through a window. I swear to God, I just want to rip it, all the cords out of it, and just... It doesn't do anything I want. There's no way to control it. I turn... It's out of control. I can't set levels.
It's a rampaging
mixer. The only fucking saving grace of this fucking piece of shit mixer is that I can do this and get a little bit of reverb. So if I want to sing... Up and away.
Wow, so you go to the fifth dimension.
Oh, what do you want me to say?
Attention shoppers.
Attention Kmart shoppers.
There's a blue light flashing over in sportswear.
Attention Kmart shoppers. Everything's on sale because we're closing this joint.
Okay, so basically you bought this mixer.
So I bought this mixer. No, I bought it because we were having problems with the other thing. And I can't, and I tried to put the phone, like if I hook the phone to this thing right now, it would go, brrr, it would make this ungodly noise.
I was really surprised you didn't get a bigger mixer than that because I figured you were going to go, oh, I can't wait to see this monstrosity.
Well, see, and
it isn't much larger than the one you replaced it with.
No, it's not. So now what I have to do is I have to take the other mixer and try to fix it. Mm-hmm. I can't take this anymore.
Can you just buy the same mixer again?
Yeah, I can, but it's, that was, that's $350. This was $250. Now I'm going to spend another $350 for that. I don't have that kind of
Well, that's
cake.
what I thought you were going to do. You were going to buy the same exact mixer.
I should have. Right. I should have bought the same thing.
Thank you.
I should have taken this thing. I should take this thing and pack it back up and send it back.
There you go.
And get my money back.
You don't have the balls to do that.
No, you know what it is?
You'll rip out your mailbox, but you won't do that.
I'm too lazy. I have everything. I have everything over here. I could just do. You know what? That's it. Cue the music. I'm putting this thing back in a box and I'm shipping it back.
So we're not going to be recording next week.
No, we'll be recording next week.
But with a new, a new version of the old mixer.
Yeah, the other mixer, I had everything working, except in the stupid preamp knobs where all of a sudden you'd be talking and the next thing you know you'd be out.
Yeah.
It would cut you off. So now I will go and get I can't do anything. Or there's a video. There's a video. What you do is you have to pull all these knobs off, all the knobs off of everything here. Mm-hmm. Then you have to take and where all the 1/4-inch jacks go in here, it's like a 1/2 inch. You got to take a 1/2 inch socket and take all those nuts off of there. Then you have to take all the screws out of here. Mm-hmm. And then you carefully lift it off.
Couldn't you just pay someone to do that?
Yeah. I guess
Depends
I
on
could.
how much money you want to pay.
I guess but see, then how long are they going to have it? See, I need it back right away.
Well,
so what I can
you
do
let
is
your fingers do the walking, and you call around and see what the
that's
turnaround
true.
time is.
But I could, like I said, but all you have to do is you get some compressed air, you spray it in there, then you spray a little contact cleaner in there, you spray a little lubricant in there, and then you put everything back together.
So you just take it in the shower with you?
No, you cannot take it in the shower with you. That is definitely not what you definitely can't do that.
Like that fabled man who was instructed to clean his computer keyboard by dipping it in a bucket of water. And
who told him that?
One of his friends.
Oh.
And he did it. And suffice to say, he tried to work his computer. And I don't know if it's a true story. It's one of those, it's one of them things that went around on the internet.
I was listening to the Unwritable Rant, and Juliet was going to do a crawfish boil. And she had an electric stove, and she had this like pot.
I just listened to that today.
And she puts she gets it boiling water, and she pours in the crawfish, and she puts a lid on it. And then all of a sudden, the damn thing shorts out and just like explodes, blows the pot off. Crawdads are all over the place, and shorted out the damn electric stove. Yeah, that's what happens when you try to take a shower with a mixer. You can't plug it in.
They do have a warning label.
Don't do that?
Yeah, do not do this.
I don't have that either now. Remember when I had the electrical
shock sound?
Right. I used to have that, but I don't have that anymore.
You should remove labels, warning labels.
I got to get my shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I was thinking this the other day. What Jerry was doing something. They were doing something. They wanted aqua. Oh my God. I remember it now. It was where the guy was sitting on the park bench. It was a transgender. He
he's bleeding through
his... And he's bleeding.
I had that in the shoot, but they did it first.
Sitting on a park bench.
Blood running out his nose.
Sitting on a park bench.
Anywho.
We're losing control. We're losing our minds here.
What's this wee shit?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We just did 20 minutes. We just did 25 minutes on the post office.
Oh, because of Bernie Sanders.
That is true.
See what he does?
Bastard.
That bastard. They all do. They get us fighting with each other. It's a conspiracy.
That's it. We're done. We have no other stories?
What? No, you got the shit-eating father slays his own son.
Oh. Got to get into the shit-eating father.
Yeah. I mean, because everybody wants to know about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Father allegedly murdered his son for finding photos of father eating feces. The photographs also showed father wearing women's clothes and a diaper. On Saturday, police arrested Mark Redwine in Washington State on second-degree murder charges in the death of his 13-year-old son,
13?
Dylan.
Oh, God.
The teenager went missing in Colorado in November 2012. Parts of his bodies were discovered in June 2013.
What the fuck is that about?
Dylan's skull was found nearly 1.5 miles away from his home 3 years after his disappearance.
How does that happen?
Both Mark Redwine and his ex-wife Elaine Hall were also featured in a Dr. Phil episode where both parents blamed each other for their son's death. Redwine's indictment reveals disturbing details about his alleged murder of his son, revealing that Dylan and his brother Corey saw compromising photographs of their father. Corey told the ABC News affiliate in Denver the following: I have seen the photos. It shows him wearing women's clothes and makeup and a diaper and then eating his feces from the diaper.
Oh, man.
It was disgusting, you think?
Yeah.
We couldn't believe it.
Couldn't it be just refried beans?
No, it's probably shit.
Oh.
Family members and prosecutors suspected that Dylan confronted his father not only regarding the disturbing photographs, but also other issues. That confrontation led to a violent outburst that killed the teenager and led his father to dispose of the body in his trunk. Cadaver dogs subsequently found traces of a dead body in the elder Redwine's trunk, the living room, and the clothes that he wore on the day of Dylan's disappearance.
Wow.
Damn.
But how come they only
this is good shit.
Yeah.
How? What? Why?
Why? Because he eats shit.
I got
You're going to
that.
tell me this guy's got his head together?
No, but Mike,
I wonder if if you're into eating shit, let's say you really like pizza.
You think it tastes like pizza the second time around?
You could have it again and again and again. And would you have substantially less shit each time you passed it?
Listen.
Let's say you shit out a cup of shit after the pizza.
Right.
And eat a cup of shit.
I don't know if I can continue this story. I think I might heave.
The next go around, would it only be 3/4 of a cup of shit?
I'm just telling you right now. I'm getting the yips. I really. Oh my God!
You're all sweaty.
Yeah, look at him. He's perspiring.
That's really crazy. That's one of the craziest murder stories I've ever heard.
And again,
the murder stories will get you.
Yeah,
that's what get you.
One of the craziest ones.
The murders are like small beans to me. I don't care about that.
I mean, that usually it's
this
like
guy's eating shit.
Usually it's a crime of passion. I mean, it's like, or someone's trying to blackmail someone, and no, Dad, I found this picture of you eating shit, and
all right, so
compose yourself, John.
I mean, you're sitting there and you think to yourself, if I found a picture of my dad eating shit, would I go, Dad, what's this?
Yo, Dad.
I would bury that down deep in my subculture.
You'd be on a couch right now.
First of all,
talking to a psychiatrist.
I basically shit almost every day. And the smell, just the smell, sometimes.
What? It doesn't smell like roses or potpourri?
No, it does not. And I'm just saying.
You have a bad diet.
You think? What? Really?
Everyone shit
Dr. Phil?
Like potpourri and applesauce and roses.
I couldn't get it past my nose. I mean, it's just...
Maybe the kid was making fun of his dad. Hey, Dad, hey, see these pictures?
Did I tell the poo haiku story about the time where I came down here because I had to go and I come down the steps because it's better to go down than up.
Work with gravity than against it.
Right. So then I go in the bathroom and the toilet seat's down. So I bent over to pick the toilet seat up and I was taking my pants down as I got there, and then all of a sudden,
you destroyed yourself.
Well, yeah. So then I had to clean that up. I couldn't figure out.
You had to swallow your asshole while you were doing it.
So I just, I went and there was like 3 dirty towels out here, right? Because the washer's right here. I got 3 dirty towels. I just threw the towels on them.
Now they're really dirty.
Right? And they just went right in the trash can, So then, now
you didn't burn them.
Now it looks like
there's no chance of the mailman finding them and bringing them back to you.
There's a goddamn trash man down there. Like,
now,
what the fuck?
Now I would have cut a piece off and put it in a postage return envelope and sent it back. But no, so I would get arrested for that because that's probably biological warfare. So anyhow, so I had to take and get all that, and there's like the swirliness, and it's not even. I mean, it's just. Ugh. So I'm sitting there and I'm gagging. I'm like
it's like it's a dessert. The swirliness.
It's just.
Mr.
It's like mud. It's like mud, and you're trying to clean it up, but you don't have enough stuff to clean it up. So I get rid of the towel. So I'm like, what am I going to do now? So now I've got the mop. Right, the mop and the mop head.
The mop has to get thrown out.
If you were Italian, you'd be the wop with the mop.
No, I'd be the wop, but I'm the Pollock with the mop.
Yeah. So my dad was a mop with the mop.
Right, so now I get in there. So now I'm thinking to myself, do I have to throw the whole bucket and mop in the trash now? Well, that was a pretty expensive bucket and a mop. So I said, no, what I'll do is I'll just take the mop head and I'll put it in the washer machine and wash it.
No, I would have foregone now you got to throw your washer away. You put that in the washer?
Hey, listen.
Jesus Christ.
I put like 2 pods. I put like 2 Tide Pods in there.
Why don't you just put Dave's piss in there too and be done with it?
Every time I wash my drawers, I do the same thing. So what's the difference? So it's like that joke, we need a blood sample, urine sample, and a stool sample.
You're a fucking mess.
Take your underwear off and give them.
So
you're assuming that everyone's underwear
I'm not assuming everybody does that. But I'm just saying, it's like not once in that whole story did I ever say, well, I'll tell you what. I wonder what this tastes like.
I'm hungry.
Boy.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe I should get
I got a little bit on my hand.
Oh. Oh, my God. Oh.
So if we go on about this, good.
Stop it. I can't even look over there.
Like a Snickers
He's
bar,
licking his fingers. Oh.
Like eating
He's so sweaty.
Jesus Christ.
All right, there goes the water.
I need a swig.
You might need that Windex.
Oh.
This be like Bill Murray and Caddyshack. What do you say?
It's all right. It's a Baby Ruth.
Oh, yeah. I got the Baby Ruth thing, but. You just do that a little too well, Deuce. I'm have to tell you.
Yeah. We really went down a bad road.
You might have to go to Facebook and actually watch that one. Yeah, so getting back to this guy, I mean, I just don't understand the death thing. Why kill him? Why?
Well, they said other issues.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Well, maybe he didn't want it to get
Maybe
out.
he was taunting and teasing.
Maybe he scanned it.
Maybe like Ned
and he was
Beatty.
going to put it on the internets.
Maybe like Ned Beatty in The Deliverance. I don't want this getting around.
Yeah.
Right.
They had to kill the guy.
Maybe the 13-year-old was like,
you think?
He's going to distribute this picture.
I'll tell you what, that took the starch out of me.
He's all tuckered out.
Oh, yeah.
Guess he's not getting something to eat after the show.
Dude, you're pale.
Yeah, you're not hungry now, are you?
It was just the whole thing with the, first we started talking about the picture, and then I had to relive that story again.
No chocolate mousse for you.
No chocolate mousse. No chocolate pudding.
No Chipotle.
No.
No Taco Bell.
Not with anything with refried beans in it, I'll tell you that right now. Oh, my goodness.
That's how bad they are, that they have to fry them twice.
Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord.
Now what?
I don't want to go out on this note, man. This is like, no.
Kind of tough to top that
well,
one.
first of all,
we went here for audience.
I thought we were going to bust on this guy about women wearing the women's clothes and makeup.
No, I think if you're eating shit and wearing
I
diapers,
think that takes
pretty
precedence.
much,
Yeah, it's going to take center stage.
I mean, come on. In this transgender sensitive world, we must be understood. See, 2 years from now, we'll have to be caring about shit eaters.
I'm just thinking
and
to myself.
we're going to have to extend ourselves to the shit eaters. Like, have to give them jobs or.
First of all, I feel really, really bad. I was going to say I feel really, really bad for his dentist and, the lady that cleans his teeth.
Yeah.
But you think this guy gets
Do you think
his
like
teeth?
he flosses and then
come on.
And then it's like he goes like this with the floss.
I can't. I'm not even looking. I refuse. Jesus. Oh, my God. I didn't realize I had that weak of a stomach for that. All right, so I got.
He uses when he goes on like business trips. They carry those little toothpicks with the little floss end on it.
So I got to tell
you see those goddamn things everywhere.
Yeah, I know. They're
you
all
walk
over
in
the
the city streets and
they're laying around
everywhere.
Where they floss their teeth.
Yeah, there's little plastic
pick things with
the everywhere.
Like a little sword.
Looks like a
bow. It looks like a little bow.
Yeah, what was that thing you used to play? Like a harp.
A Jew harp?
It was a Jew harp, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the
boing,
called
boing,
a Jew
boing.
harp.
Yeah, okay.
What are you looking at the screen for?
Because I thought I had a boing.
You look at the screen for confirmation. Is it a Jew harp?
So you're saying the shit eater does that boing, 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 boing?
No, it's not the boing. That's not the boing I was looking for.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, the clown sex sound we had.
At the beginning of Come Together by The Who. That's a Jew harp.
Yeah. Right, yes.
It's actually called a mouth harp, too.
Yeah, but...
Mouth harp. It wasn't a Jew harp.
Well, the slang is Jew harp.
Jew harp?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure the Jewish people didn't appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, the odd thing is, that doesn't seem to...
Jewish?
It doesn't seem like a Jewish instrument to me. It sounds like a redneck. It seems
There's
more like a redneck
instrument.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Where's Emily Prokop when you need her?
The story behind flossing picks.
The Jew harp.
The story behind the Jew harp.
That's what I wanna...
First of all, we don't call it a Jew harp. It's the mouth harp.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, let me see if I can quickly Google that.
All right. So can I tell you, the only time I ever threw up on a boat was flat calm out. All right. So me, my father, two of my friends, I'm about 16 years old. We're out in a back bay and we're flounder fishing. So we all got our lines out. My dad's got his line out. All of a sudden, he's got to take a shit. So he's like, I guess I'm going to have to hang one over the side, boys.
When suddenly...
So he takes his pants down, and he's still got his...
And you raped him in the ass.
What?
Well, this story just took a turn.
Please, let me get through the story. So he's still fishing, and he's got his... Fuck you. He's still fishing, and he's got his hat. He always wore this crazy fishing hat he had. So he's sitting there, and he's got his ass hanging over the side, right? And he's fishing. He's like, oh, I got a bite. So he's like this. His pants are down around his ankles. His ass is hanging over the side of the boat, and he's shitting. And you can hear it. You can hear it hit the water. So now
it's
floating away. The shit is floating away from the boat. Okay.
Well, it's good. He's got floaters, not sinkers.
Right. He's got floaters, not sinkers. So it's floating away. And I'm like, oh, my God, I can't. So now you can see how I am right now about this, right? With that, 4 or 5 seagulls start dive bombing and picking up the shit and eating it. I immediately went to the side of the boat and threw up. It was horrendous. The worst thing ever. It was horrible.
I found it says Jew's harp.
Sorry.
The Jew's harp, also known as the jaw harp, mouth harp, ozark harp, or juice harp.
Juice harp?
Yeah, so apparently the Jew's harps may be categorized as, and I can't pronounce that word, some kind of musical reference, I'm guessing. But I'm guessing they probably must have slanged it. Somebody couldn't say jaw, and they wound up coming out as Jew.
Jew harp.
So,
jaw harp? Jew harp?
Yeah, that's my guess.
Okay.
But yeah, so, in Philadelphia, they were always known as that.
Okay. I'm with you.
Philadelphia.
So, whatever happened to this guy? They should have just took him out back, put him on his knees, and shot him behind the head.
They arrested him, so.
That is ridiculous.
Feed him shit till he dies.
I guess he's not going to complain about the prison food.
Yeah, right.
No, it'll be like
Hey,
Shea Bear.
Is that what he got there? That's what, hey, man, this stuff tastes like shit. Really? Give me some of that.
I'll take
He's
yours.
Pushing every button in front of line, pushing everybody out of the way.
Yeah, that's like, what a way. I mean, it's poor kid, you know?
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Well, I think he must have taunted him.
Yeah, well, that and plus...
But he was only 13, like...
Obviously, the guy didn't have his
You know
shit
how...
together.
Listen, he was probably like that asshole at Wawa.
Well, what could he be doing? Like, yeah.
I'm going to...
Shit eating daddy.
Dad is a shit eater. Dad is a shit eater.
Did he shit on a plate and bring it into him? I mean... Toothpicks, garnish.
Like corn on the cob. You know,
parsley.
You know. And then all of a sudden... His father had enough and that was the end of that.
Going out of my way to try to make John sick.
It's working. I looked over. It's ridiculous. Stupidest thing I've ever seen.
I think we disgusted everybody into...
My mouth is watering, and not in a good way.
Watering for some shit.
Nah. This show is a dumpster fire. It's official. It is official.
Yeah, just when you think you hit rock bottom.
I'm serious. That's horrible. You guys are out of your fucking minds. Ridiculous. All right.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Oh, man, I'm crying over here.
Listen, thank you very much for joining us, and we really appreciate everything. And if you want to check us out on some streaming apps, we are at Radio Vegas Rocks. We are Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 a.m. Fucking God.
You gonna make it?
5 a.m. I'm not cleaning the throw up. I'll tell you that right now. 5 a.m. Pacific Time, and then also Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. And Slings, Flings, and Dingalings Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And we are also always found over at the Hush Your Face Network. All right.
Shoutouts?
Podcast shoutouts.
Okay, if you are looking for some other great podcasts to check out, and they don't talk about eating shit, we highly recommend these podcasts. 3 is Comedy with Jason, Bob, and Mindy, part of the Hush Your Face network. I always want to say broadcast. Let me try that again. 3 is Comedy with Jason, Bob, and Mindy, part of the Hush Your Face network. And I listened to their show today live.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I couldn't interact because I was driving home.
But it's kind of cool to be able to listen to them live.
Well, I couldn't engage in the chat.
Yeah, that does suck.
You know, so it's like, that's why I have to be locked up for that. Like, you know, cause an accident. What were you doing? Well,
see,
I was in the chat room.
I was trying to answer the question.
Enough that you're texting, now you're in a chat room.
Yeah, I was answering the question of the day. You know, what's your favorite shit to eat? You know, I couldn't figure out whether it was like a solid log or, all right, I can't even do this.
Did the corn get stuck in your teeth?
Oh, corn.
You put the peanuts
Jesus
in
Christ.
for texture?
All right, that's enough.
You're
Oh, this is a good one. I got a piece of mushroom.
Guys.
All right, here we go. Bad Cop. Jerry and Dave. Again, another excellent show. Those two guys are out of their mind. And you know what they don't do? They don't go on and on about the post office for half an hour.
Who's Right with Doug and Anthony, part of your Hush Your Face network?
I got blocked by Jasmine Kane on Twitter For your entertainment, Doug.
Because of Doug.
I was in touch with Doug, and we're going to try to line up. I'm going to be appearing on their show sometime.
Oh, I guess you won't be bitching about it like I did.
No. So I enjoy the show.
I enjoy the show, too. I thought I gave him a glowing review, apparently.
Be quiet and eat your shit. The Penn and Mellor Show with Matt Mellor and Viva La Pedros.
Yeah, they have
part of the Hush Your Face Network. Also, Who's Right with Doug and Anthony, part of the Hush Your Face Network.
Well, you know, the thing about Penn and Mellor, I went on the show as a guest, and they haven't been back since. What am I? I'm a show killer.
Yeah.
Your turn, John.
Oh, aren't you jumping in on any of these?
Yeah.
But he went, then I went, now you go.
We're doing clockwise, right?
Well, you're all awash and
listen.
You're all fucked up.
I am all fucked up. Here we go. Bold and belligerent. Lauren, Josh, Mike, and Luke. They didn't have a show out this week. I miss it when they don't have. You know what's going on? I don't have enough
summertime.
It is summertime.
A lot of people probably.
Lauren just had a baby boy, Stetson, or is it Pork Pie? I forget what the kid's name is. I know it's named after a hat.
Okay, unwritable rant.
I'm going to go with Stetson then. I don't think it's going to be Pork Pie.
Oh no, it's probably not. Okay, go ahead, there, Joe.
Unwritable rant with Juliet Miranda.
And congratulations! This Sunday will be their 100th episode. I can't wait. They're going to do outside driveway drinking episode. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for that.
How can it not?
Any episode with drinking can be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
The Robin Slim Show with Robin Slim and Slambo and Amanda, part of the Hush Your Face Network. Are they back on the Twitter?
Yes. Okay. Rob is back on the Twitter. Ice in the Face with Sarah and Rick. And like I said, they've been on fire the past 4 weeks. And I was listening to them as I went down to eat dinner, sitting down at the nice park, and I pull up, and sure enough, not even paying attention to what's going on, and I kind of see people. You notice when someone's staring at you, kind of feel that.
Yeah.
People
eyes
staring.
Burning into your skull.
Right. So I look over to my left, and there's 2 people sitting in the car reading the Bible, and they were not very happy. So they just gave me like that dirty look, and they started the car up, and they backed up and pulled away.
Look at him. He's eating KFC and listening to Ice in the Face.
Listening to Ice in the Face, and they're talking about, I forget what they were even talking about, but it was definitely not Bible
it's
friendly.
Not Bible. It's not Bible discussion.
I think they were even talking about, I forget. I'm sorry, I wouldn't even do it justice.
Shit eating?
They were not talking about shit eating. They were not. But it's a great show, so go over and listen to it.
Okay.
One of my favorites.
Horribly Awkward with Sean Fuller, part of the Hush Your Face Network.
He just did an episode. I just dropped. He did it family friendly, no cursing.
Really?
So I am intrigued to listen to that.
Must be a lot of silence, or
no.
Okay.
Could we do a clean episode?
I can. You can't.
After this episode, I think we better start doing some clean episodes.
I don't know.
I think we chased a lot of people away with that whole
the shit story, or the post office.
They were enthralled.
I'm kind of disgusted. I mean, he was doing all the things. He was gagging, but
I'm still sipping water over here. Who's next?
Now that I'm older, with Shane and Kenny.
Stop. You fucker. Toe in the trigger. Toe on the trigger with Daniel, Nicole, and Courtney 3000.
The story behind with Emily Prokop.
The Nerd Wells podcast with Eric, Sam, and Chris, part of the Hush Your Face Network.
The Horrible Gamers with Jesus, Ryan, Eric, and Gunny, also part of the Hush Your Face Network.
Epic Film Guys with Nick and Justin.
Everyone has a podcast with Adam and Brian.
And the Naked Porch podcast with Ray, Danielle, and Chris. And also the Bro Ron show, Bro-Ron show. We're going to add them on here. Give them a check them out. They don't talk about eating shit.
So far as you know.
So far as I know.
If you listen to a back episode, you might be enthralled.
They might, maybe, I don't know.
I wonder if we're the bad boys of podcasting in our network now because we talk about eating shit.
We're not doing this every episode, I'll tell you that.
Do you think if that guy had the runs and he shit in a mug and he had a straw like a chocolate shake?
It's like the video for the 2 Girls, 1 Cup. I saw that.
I never saw
I was like,
that.
what is this 2 Girls, 1 Cup? And
I heard about it.
I see the asshole and I see the poop going into the cup. And I'm like, is that what I think that is?
You were enthralled.
And then all of a sudden the girl stuck the spoon in and I shut it off. That was it.
I never saw it. And
I never will either.
Yeah,
no, especially after this episode. 2 girls, 1 cup. Please.
Well, the big thing was
1 John, 1 cup. That's the name of this episode.
The big thing with that.
I think that's the title. 1 John, 1 cup. So sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I think the big thing with that was you would videotape or you would film your buddy watching that video because that you would
the
get
reaction,
the reaction that they would
exactly.
have.
Yeah, the reaction.
They did it on Family Guy too. They had like Stewie was watching it, and Brian was behind him, starting to laugh.
Although I kind of got a good idea. What if we were somewhere where you had like a baby and you're changing the baby's diaper, and what you do is you do the switch where you have refried beans.
I did that to my mom.
With the refried beans in the baby diaper.
My mom had a very weak stomach, and
he made her throw up all the time.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time. So what had happened was I had a brown blanket, and we threw it in the washer. Back then, you know how the washers would have
the lint catcher,
at the top in a tray.
Yeah,
so it was like brown lint. So I scooped all the brown lint out. It was still wet, so I was like, so I molded it into the shape of a turd. And then I put it on my jacket, and I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, look at this! That goddamn cat shit on my jacket!" And my mom was feuding with the cat at the time, so she came, "What?" And she came running down. I said, "Look!" And then she was, "Oh, that son of a bitch!" And I said, "Yeah." And I picked it up, and real fast, I stuck it in my mouth. She ran down the hall, barely made it.
And let me tell you, when my mother threw up, the house shook.
Hollering.
I'm the same way. When I throw up, my ribs hurt for like 3 days. I mean, I really put my back into it. I don't know. That's why I hate to throw up.
Because there are people that enjoy that.
Well, no, some people, when they go to throw up.
I got nothing to do now.
My kids
toss my cookies.
My kids, they throw up at a drop of a hat. They're like, "Oh, my tummy don't feel good." Dad, I have a stomach ache.
I couldn't even. Without being alcohol, and even that's rare. I mean, I think I may have non-alcoholically thrown up 5 times in my life, maybe.
I've had a couple stomach viruses.
I'm not a vomiter.
I threw up so hard one time the cat was watching me, and the cat
threw up. That's how disgusting
bad it was.
Oh my God!
No
the
kidding.
Cat threw up.
Yeah, no kidding.
The cat was standing there watching, and then the cat started getting the yips.
I ate a cheesesteak that was no good, and within 45, it came on me so fast.
Food poisoning. That's how it happens. Yeah.
So I went to bed. No, the cat actually was like, it made this weird noise. I think so in addition to cleaning up my own vomit, I had to clean up the cat puke in the hallway. So,
well, when my kids were small, they would go to daycare, or what I used to call the petri dish of everything that was horrible, and they would get sick. They would get, I swear to God, I think I'm going to heave. They would get sick, and they would come home, and the wife, they'd be throwing up, and the wife would be mopping it up and all, and I'm like, I'm staying away. I'm not even getting near these kids, right? I don't want to touch this. I don't want to get that. You know what? You're the mom. Have at it. She never gets sick.
I was just going to say that you have to immerse yourself in the bacteria, John, because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I hear you. So the next day, I'm sitting there and I'm throwing up, right? So I'm sitting there at the, sitting on my knees at the toilet,
the porcelain altar,
right? I'm sitting there, I'm throwing up, and my Megan, she must have been like 6 years old, and she comes in, she goes, "Daddy, can I help you? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, honey, I'm fine. I'm okay." And she's like, "Daddy, I want to help you." And then all of a sudden, she starts. I'm like, no. She throws up on the floor. I was like, God damn.
Were you ashing gray then, like you are now?
Yes. So then I'm like, I come out, I like walk out of the thing, and I walk over to Kathy, and I go, "She threw up in the bathroom." She goes, "Why are you telling me?" I'm like, that's why. I can't handle throw up.
It's so runny. You really.
So we go to my nephew he was a senior in high school, and they had the Mr. High School, Mr. whatever high school he was a part.
Homecoming King?
Right. Well, no, it was like they did a talent show.
Oh, okay.
And they would go up and they would do a talent show, and then they would crown a Mr. King or whatever. So we all Mr. King of talent of dipshit
Could
high
be
school.
like King something. Mr.
King dipshit high school guy. So listen, I can't. I'm working on. I'm trying here.
He's on the phone.
So my daughter's there, and she says to me, "Daddy, can you pick me up?" And she was my oldest at the time, maybe 4 or 5 years old. So I said, "Yeah, okay." So I'm walking up. We walk outside. We get outside, and she leans over and she goes, "Daddy." And she goes to go, "Daddy," and with that
was it.
Down my neck, down my shirt, and she wouldn't stop. And I'm like
she was teasing you.
She would not stop throwing up. And what are you going to do? You can't put her down. And she's heaving.
Start running around with her on your shoulder.
It just. I was just one after it was waves. And I'm like, and I look at.
What did you eat?
I said, first of all, I can't even believe you fed this kid this much. Stop it! So with that, she finally, she's like, "I'm so sorry," and she's covered in throw up, and I'm covered up. It's like the end of that movie, the Monty Python
Mr.
movie.
Creosote.
Mr. Creosote, yeah.
When he just
explodes,
right, and there's people covered in throw up. So my wife's like, she don't know what to do. She's like, "Well, hold on." I'm like, "Hold on." Okay, I'll hold on. So we get to the car, and she's like, "Okay, give me her." So I'm like, "Okay, go to mommy," and then immediately they strip her down, and wipe her off. Whatever they got, when you have young kids like that, everybody's got a thing of wet wipes and everything. Mm-hmm. So now
as opposed to a hose,
right? So now I got to take my shirt off. So as I was taking my shirt off because I got a button down shirt. I take it's piles of it are falling out of my shirt into the parking lot,
like chum.
Oh, he's starting to sweat again.
I swear to God. They clean her all up. They put her in had clothes for her and all. They put her up. So I take my shirt off, and I'm like, I got the one towel that they use. I'm trying to find a clean spot to clean myself up.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
So, right. So then I go.
So you rode home like a man, bare-chested.
So I go, "Hey, give me a couple of those, wipes." And she goes, "Oh, I just run out of them." God damn it. What do I? So now we get like the one towel that was just like almost clean, and we kind of wrap it around the back, put it on the seat and everything. I drive home like that. I go home, I take my clothes right into the trash can, and I get in the shower.
I will never wear you again.
Yeah, I must have stood in there with the hot water running over me for like 15 minutes. So then we go, yeah, exactly. So then here's the last puking story I'm going to tell. Oh, we lease a Warner Brothers.
I sold it to you.
That car. Yeah. You sold that, or no? You sold me. Was that the
Warner Brothers minivan? The Chevy Venture.
You leased that to us, right? Yeah. The day we bring all the kids there, everybody gets in the car. We're all driving home. Mm-hmm. I get around the corner. We're almost home, and my daughter goes, "Oh!" And it was the one. It had the seat where it was a child's care seat. It was a child seat, so you just push the thing down.
It was all
it was all included.
It was all modular.
It was all modular. You just push the seat down. You put everything in. It was brand new. Had the brand new car smell. We get 5 blocks from the house. Dad, what? I looked at my wife. I was like, "Did she just throw up in a brand new car? Did that just happen?" I'm sorry. I threw up in the car. So they take the kid in. Now, who's out there with the vacuum cleaner?
Jackass.
Trying to get I don't know. I think she had macaroni and cheese. And she didn't chew well. And I'm like, holy cow.
She's like wolfing it down?
Like
no wonder she threw up.
Little pieces of macaroni.
Does she have any molars? What the fuck?
I have no idea. Brand new car. Didn't even get home. And it was, kid threw up. I swear those kids ruined everything. Everything I had. When they were like from the age of 4 to like 9, the house felt like it had a crust on it. You couldn't keep it clean. Ridiculous. Kids were out of there for months. All right, if anybody's still listening, I don't know why. I swear to God, we'll come back next week with some more stories.
Oh, I got some. My friend Jeff.
That's a lengthy story.
Legendary vomiter. I mean, well, there's
He's multiple. A legendary vomiter?
Legendary.
He was, he was in the 1980 Olympic puking team.
He disrupted a George Thorogood concert.
What?
Well, actually, in 1980, we didn't go to the Olympics because that was when Russia invaded Afghanistan.
Figures I picked in 1 year.
Oh, yeah. He evacuated about 4 or 5 rows of the Spectrum during a George Thorogood concert with his vomiting. I also have another story about him in my father's car, the Genghis Mobile. So we'll save that for next week.
I don't know. I think we're pretty much done with the puking stories, but that's okay. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Brand X Podcast.
And John won't be so ashen gray. Have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
That one took the tar out of me. Will you shut the fuck up so I can end the recording?
That's it. We're just getting into it.